So we decided to spin around and take a particular look at this one because it, when I was standing back over here and I looked at it, I think it is transitional in terms of its process because there are some just like clearly the brownishy, umber color is very distinct. But when you step back, you see that there really are kind of like sort of a band here and a here together. These are kind of a band
Maybe,
and another band.
Inside a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you see how he was really, I think, probably responding, like we'd said, to the color and not going to obsess over, is it a pour, is it a band? He wasn't going to define it or lock himself in. But something about this he really liked. And then as he was going along, and I can see what motivated him because if people see this, this is probably one of the most popular paintings. It was the lead one that I used for the show because it was such a brilliant color, and it had. But when you look at it in person, and people really have responded to it, but when you look at it in person, you realize it's got this like cerulean blues. It's got this really nice purple, dark purple. You've got like a blue green going on in here. You got these really nice patches of sort of a purpley red. And so there's a lot going on in here. And so I think it exemplifies his fascination with color and his fascination with colors responding and interacting and layering on top of one another. Mm-hmm. And when he would leave the residue of an underlayer, how that would react. And then even how he brings in like this moment of this really aqua, sort of light blue and then that sort of aqua green. So it's a fascinating painting because it's not as structured as the others. In so many ways it reads like a classic sort of stained or poured painting, but it's not. You can see how he was really migrating towards more control, but yet letting the process still dictate the final composition.
It may be that it's so popular because he offers sort of a way into the painting, He's got this sort of nice brown floor here you're not immediately lost in the cosmos, You
Exactly.
can almost see where it could be on the horizon, and not to give it too much of a landscape reference, but it's there. No matter what you do, if you're working with horizontals. But,
it definitely has a very big sky, like western sky sort of moment about it, and it's clearly grounded. Your eye is very much drawn to this, and I think part of it's because of that same beautiful aqua color is present down here as well.
Yeah, look at that. Cool.
And in fact, that aqua almost looks like it's been sprayed. Do you know if he ever sprayed?
I don't think he would have had a philosophical problem with it. I think it's all fair, but I never knew that.
But it almost looks like he had a sprayer. I don't mean like an aerosol can. I mean like a sprayer. But he looks like he might have shielded it somehow and just kind of went, across and just faded off, or maybe came this way. But yeah, no, I hate to overinterpret it, but a lot of times you look at these and just kind of wonder, but as we said, he was not opposed to a myriad of different methods and techniques to kind of achieve the aesthetic outcome that he wanted.
I'm sure he would allow himself the freedom, to try many different things.
So is there anything in particular that we didn't capture that you would like to kind of, given that you knew him pretty well and for a long time, is there anything else you'd like to kind of comment on or mention about the work from this period, or how this fits in with his broader oeuvre?
I think you've done a great job. I think that the future is very exciting, for your showing of his work, and his work in the future just got better and better to me.
Yeah, and he had some moments where he really explored some very different aspects of color, like the very dark paintings, but all those artists did. Ad Reinhardt did. Everybody did.
Yeah.
They kind of went through these periods, and so I think it's just something when you're a color painter, they all sort of work their way through this in different ways and at different points in their career, and so it's not a surprise.
Right.
But he became so much more influenced by his international travels, and I think his interest in, native cultures it seemed like to have a lot of influence on him. But a lot of artists, I think it did. And so
But you can't underestimate the Phillips collection too.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where so many artists really like Diebenkorn. He spent 2 years in the Phillips himself. I mean, they just, you go there and you get changed.
Yeah. Well, it is a magnificent collection for sure. I mean, you don't even think of it as such a private collection. It's almost like the Hirshhorn, it's like it feels like such a public collection because they're so well known, but they were both just private individuals who built them.
The beauty of it is it's so intimate there.
Yeah.
So
it's a nice building.
you are in a room like this
Yeah.
with the painting and not in a football field.
You know what's interesting is that where de Looper came from, Den Haag, the Maritza House Museum there is an old house. And it's a great museum because art students and historians love it because you can the scale is very intimate. It's a home, but I mean, it's a mansion. Trust me, it's not like our 3-bedroom brick ranches, but it's people can get close. I mean, like frighteningly close to Vermeer's, in some of these paintings. But it was great because you don't have this distraction of the architecture so much. And you're really able to zero in on the paintings, but they're curated such that when they show an artist, they'll have 4 or 5 of them, and you can just see these great examples all side by side. And I wonder how much time he might have spent at the Maritza House, because the Phillips is a lot like that, because of that intimacy, the scale, but the incredible collection of art, that they have.
Well, that's interesting. I do think there is an intimacy of his scale, that's different from, giant paintings on giant walls. There's something really special about his approach, and it could be very well his, where he's coming from and working in the Phillips. And this is the experience that you really want to have.
Yeah, and he did do some big paintings, but I think the biggest he did on sort of a regular basis would be like the one we were looking at, Turquoise Trail, which I think is like 78 by 78. Most of them are like this. They're like 60 by 40, 40 by 36.
I once got to move a 15-foot long painting of his.
Yeah, I've had two that are 12, 15 feet long. I mean, so he did work big.
But even the big ones, they're made for this kind of looking, not, back over there.
Yeah, they weren't architectural. So, well, good. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you came up.
Oh, what a great pleasure.
The show. So,
congratulations. What a terrific show you have.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all your help.
Anytime.